Welcome to another episode of Dad's Rules with Kevin Belzer and Miss Sassy Pants, Melissa Belzer, as my special guest today. We are at the Menace Undergrounds in Mesa, Arizona, otherwise known as Table, Arizona. Only in small circles, though.
Oh, yeah, only very...
Like this small circle.
Very small
The small circle
circles.
of two refers to it as Table, Arizona. We're in the MAF podcast studios at the Menace Underground, literally underground.
Literally.
I'm wearing their swag, but in front of me is my swag. Some of my swag. There's over 30-some pieces that hopefully by the time this airs, it will be up and live on the swag shop for Dad's Rules.
Yes.
So we have rule number 15 swag sitting in front of us today because, well, that's all we brought.
That's fine. This is our favorite, that's why.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We brought two different colored ones. We brought one says start the clock on the front in pink, and actually that's magenta.
Is it actually? I was going to ask you what the actual color was.
It's magenta. The other one's
raspberry pink. It's really good color pink.
The other one's like a medium blue one, and it says start the clock on the front as well with the stop clock for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Being that rule number 15 is the 30-minute wind.
Is yours the same color as this, now that I'm thinking about it?
Yeah, they're the same
okay.
symbol.
So it's okay.
Yep, so those are the same. We have been having a lot of fun recording a bunch of episodes in one massive shoot because that's how we roll.
Yep.
We're going to continue that on and go right into decks unless there's something else that you want to talk about. I know, I literally just threw you on the spot.
I know.
I gave you a dad rule earlier.
I know.
Let's see. I'm not sure if I'd put another dad rule on here or not. Oh, I know what I wanted to tell you. Okay, so that shirt is magenta. Did you know what the color of the year for 2023 is?
No, I don't.
It's magenta. I literally just laid that up for
But
you.
is it called magenta, or is it a magenta color with some fun name?
It's magenta. 2023 color of the year is magenta.
The whatever you call it color, the whatever place does it, that's the color? Or the thing
According to
that does
Canva,
it?
they said the color of the year is magenta.
Interesting. That's
Yep.
like a good color.
Yep, so you win
I win?
for 12 months.
Does that mean I can paint my office this color?
Nope, that means you win a participation trophy.
I don't want a participation trophy.
Nobody should want a participation trophy.
Should want, but I don't want a participation trophy.
There was one year that my son's baseball team was so bloody awful.
Yeah, we said, yeah.
I don't think they ever won.
Yeah.
At the award ceremony, not reward. Yeah. The award ceremony, can't say that word either. At the award ceremony, they gave out participation trophies, and he came up to me and he goes, "Why did we get these?" And I'm like, "Well, they're giving trophies to all the kids," and he's like, "But we were awful.
We didn't win.
We didn't win at all."
He's as competitive as we are.
Yeah, no, it's really stupid. I'm not a big fan of it. I've heard arguments both sides of it, and I think participation trophies are a waste of time. I think you either win, you lose, and if you lose, hopefully you learned.
Yeah, we don't like draw. We're not fans of draw.
It actually should be win, lose, and learn. So whether you win or lose, you should be learning.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's do a deck.
Oh, which one?
Little talk.
Oh, this is the little kids version.
The last one, though, was super serious.
I know, it was like big
like,
topic for
not
a little kid. So it'll be interesting to see how these play out, because that was a really big question last time.
Just draw a random card out of here.
Okay.
So these cards can be anywhere from random, hopes and dreams, likes and dislikes, reflection, self-expression, and emotional intelligence.
Which one's that one?
This one is random.
Random, okay.
What experience did you learn the most from? Again, these don't feel like little kid cards.
This is a kid deck. Sorry, myself. These are really like hefty. I know it's supposed to be what? It's the one that's supposed to make them feel like, right? Because I think I said that last time. Is it supposed to make them feel like they're not grown up, but like important or included? It's just those are really hard questions. When I deal with 2nd through 6th graders on Sundays, those are really big questions. Like I almost want to bring...
Well, you can answer it as an adult because
I
you're
know.
an adult.
And that's what we have to do.
What experience did you learn the most from? I feel like I'm learning every day.
That's what I'm like. I don't think there's any one...
So it's like, is there one that's truly the most? I mean, I learned years ago, and this is actually discussed in rule number 15. It's one of the stories in there, that when I wasn't top producer that year, I just missed out to another agent. I don't know where in the process it hit me that I was like, well, wait a second, this is a small real estate office. I didn't win, yet even if I'd won, I'm big fish, small pond. Meaning that I'm the biggest fish there, but it's a small pond. Wouldn't it be better to be making more money but be in like the ocean?
I guess, because then you'd have more opportunities to learn and grow and teach others. And
Yeah, what I've learned from going to larger brokerages and stuff now is that anytime I think that I'm a big deal or whatever, I'm probably not.
like, not a big deal. I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah, there's probably somebody else that's doing a lot more than me. Because I look at the volume I did in December, for example, and I look at that and go, that was a pretty impressive month. And honestly, it was a very impressive month. But I still look at it and go, yeah, but there was a lot of agents that did a heck of a lot more than me from it. So what experience did you learn the most from for yourself?
I think a lot of times the learning comes through tragedy or, challenges. For me, I think. Like, even just watching other people go through stuff and just learn how you can have a different attitude or an opportunity to be helpful that maybe it didn't occur to you before. And just to think about other people. It's an opportunity to think about others. So I think a lot of it, like Melanie and Ryan, going through that whole thing where he was in the hospital for 5 months and just watching how all that pieced together and just all the people, just little things that they did and the way the doctors that came across their path.
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
I know. He was in the hospital with COVID and he'd been through a lot of medical challenges where at one point they didn't think he was going to make it. And then he just kept having medical challenge after medical challenge. And just learning how, like, even though you could get frustrated in that, just seeing that even though you feel like, oh, there's nothing I can do because doctors have to do, but you can just do things for their other part of their family or fill in where they may need help. It just got us thinking like, oh, we can help them. We help them with their landscaping and stuff like that. So we just figured out just even though you don't feel like significant, there's always an opportunity for you to have significance, even if it isn't on a huge scale. So I think just opportunities like that.
You can learn a lot from how other people go through hardships. I would say that I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to learn from my own anymore.
Preach.
Yeah.
That would be nice, yes.
I am totally okay learning from the mistakes of others.
Yeah. And now
I know it sounds bloody awful, but
Yeah.
it's not. You get to a point where like, okay, I've made enough mistakes on my own. Let's start learning from other people's mistakes instead.
I think we're almost like, okay.
Well, that's what I like about watching video vlogs and podcasts and stuff of other real estate agents, other business people, and learning where they've had triumph and tragedy so that you can not repeat the things they're doing. I'm at the point to where I don't want to continually learn from my own bad experiences. I want to start learning from others to speed things up and not go through that dip.
Yes.
And I understand that you're still going to fail, but you want to fail forward. But I want those things to be smaller blips than they were before.
Yes. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I agree. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I don't want to make $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 mistakes. It's like, you look back, I don't know how many years ago, 6 years ago, where I made one mistake that would cost me $100,000. And
which people are like, oh,
and you go, I learned a ton from it though.
Yeah.
However, this many years later, I don't want to learn from that again.
No.
And go, well, yeah, but Melissa, we're going to learn a ton from this because I always learn from this stuff, derp, derp. I would rather have it be to where I am taking advice and counsel from others, their experience, how they've succeeded, and apply that to my life. Not have it be a negative experience. Because I think the problem when I read this card, what experience did you learn from the most from, is now I'm looking, when I initially read this, I'm going to the negative.
Yeah.
And I need to start instead changing it around in my mind and going, what experience I learned the most from, but from the positive. That's where I am.
Yeah, no, that's actually, well, because I did the same thing. So maybe we can learn from this card.
I think we can learn from this card that we need to not be focusing on the
negative sometimes, and sometimes that's easy to do.
Yeah, we heard from a lot of great speakers at MenaceCon.
We did.
And hearing their triumphs and tragedies over the years. But I look at a lot of my notes, and none of my notes were negative from those speakers. My notes were all about the positive stuff out of it.
That's true, but I think all in that too. It's like when you hear, because I didn't know a lot of their stories. Like I didn't know. I'm probably confusing them. It's either Ed Milet
Ed Milet, Sean Whalen, Bradley. By the way, if you get an opportunity to go to MenaceCon next year, I highly recommend it because they have some of the most kick-ass speakers out there.
Maybe it was Ed Milet. Was he the one that was talking about his dad?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was Ed Milet. His story blew me away, number one, and it got me thinking because I always go to think like, I have friends who have challenges with like depression and stuff like that, and I worry about them, and I pray about them a lot, and then I hear stories, or even in my own self when I'm frustrated, I'm like, I'm not going to get forward on this today, and it frustrates me or whatever, just anything like that, and then I hear someone else's story. And then I just go, you know what? A lot of us go through stuff. Everybody's like, they have all this money. Who cares if they go through this stuff? But it doesn't bother them. But it does. And they were at the same spot maybe that I am or you are. And so I always think about, I'm always thinking if so and so could just hear this story, if so and so could just hear this part, or if so and so, I always try to share. And then I heard, his podcast with. I can't remember his name now. I just forgot it. He was talking about his story with suicide and how he survived.
The guy that jumped off the bridge.
Yeah. I immediately go to where I've got friends, like a couple of them that seem, and I'm kind of trying to be in their face if I know about it. And I'm like, it got me thinking like, oh my gosh, they need to hear this story because I want to make sure they don't get so far down that they don't think they have any other choice left and stuff like that. So I'm always thinking about, if just someone could just hear this. So that's where I go is I always think of things, and I'm always thinking of it just, I guess it just happens. I think of, I need to share this with so-and-so. And I've already shared that with 6 people now.
I think it's important to understand that whether you're going through any experience, whether it's good or bad, it's not the end.
No, you're not going to stay there.
You're not going to stay there whether it's good or bad.
Right.
Because that's a moment.
Right.
That moment can go either direction. But you just have to grow.
And I know that sounds like easier said than done, but that's why you just got to reach out. And that was the one thing.
Oh, no, you have to constantly remind yourself.
Yeah. No, he just said he was waiting for somebody to say something, but just say something. Like, don't feel like no one can help you or no one can understand. Just say it. So, like that, I get to hear these speakers. I get to go, this is more ammo for my pockets to help my friends. So that's just what I go to. I want to learn and help anybody, help my friends and people I know as much as possible with any information that I gain or have.
So question of the day, what experience did you learn the most from? That's going to be a wrap on another episode of Dad's Rolls. So if you liked it, hated it, or ambivalent, share, like, comment, review. I know, it's ridiculous. And buy our swag, because we found out that Melissa cannot eat ramen noodle. She has ridiculous side effects from it. She needs you to buy the swag so she can afford to eat, otherwise she will die. So until next time, go out and be the kick-ass adult I know you all can be.